Hey you, yeah, you, lying in bed, scrolling through YouTube at 11:42 p.m., wondering why you still don't have your life together. Welcome to BetterMe, where we make deep stuff feel a little less intense. Today, we're diving into a self-growth guide for the rest of us. The tired, the overwhelmed, the I'll start Monday crowd, aka normal people. So if you've ever felt like personal development sounds amazing but also exhausting, this one's for you. Let's talk about how to grow. Slowly, lazily, but meaningfully. Redefining growth. Let's start by lowering the bar. We've been sold this idea that self-growth has to be a productivity boot camp. Wake up at 5 a.m., journal for an hour, meditate, cold shower, run 10K, build a business, and learn Japanese, all before breakfast. But real talk? Most of us are just trying to drink more water and not lose our keys. So here's the first rule of lazy self-growth. Small is sustainable. You don't have to change your entire life this week. You just need to tilt the needle 1%. Reheat the same cup of coffee, sit up a little straighter, and maybe, just maybe, put your phone down for 10 minutes. That counts. Habit stacking for lazy geniuses. Let's be honest, some days even putting on socks feels like a win. So the idea of starting a whole new routine, yikes. Enter habit stacking, the self-improvement hack for people who would grow more if it didn't feel so effortful. Here's the idea. You don't create a new habit out of thin air. You attach it to something you're already doing, something automatic, like brushing your teeth or opening the fridge for the 5th time without knowing why. Example 1. While brushing your teeth, do 5 squats. Just 5. You're already standing there. Legs exist. Boom. You just became 0.03% more fit. No gym, no fancy gear, no, what's your max deadlift, bro? Or if squats feel too aggressive at 7 a.m., just try standing on one leg. Congratulations, you're now doing balance training. You are, basically, a ninja. Example 2. Waiting for your coffee to brew? Instead of doom scrolling, try 1 deep breath. 1, not 10. Not a meditation retreat. Just 1. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Now you're mindful. Also, your coffee smells amazing. Example 3. Microwave timer counting down. Do 30 seconds of stretching. Neck rolls, shoulder shrugs, that weird twisty stretch that makes your spine crack and your soul sigh. Or, totally valid, just stare into the void and think about your life choices. Either way, it's a moment of awareness. And hey, self-awareness is part of emotional intelligence, so technically you're leveling up. And why it works. You're not carving out extra time. You're sneaking in growth into what you're already doing. No huge mental load, no decision fatigue, and best of all, the bar is on the floor, and that's where we like it. It's like hiding spinach in mac and cheese. You're still mostly lazy, just slightly better, which is the whole point of this channel, time management, without spreadsheets. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, time management. Just kidding, everyone hates it. Because most time management advice feels like it was written by a robot who wakes up at 4 a.m. and genuinely enjoys color-coded Excel sheets. So, if you're someone who has a dusty planner, 17 to-do apps you abandoned, and a deep fear of the word calendar invite, breathe easy. You're in the right place. Here's what I call the lazy timer. Method trademark. Patent pending in my dreams. Step 1. Pick something you kinda sorta wanna do. Nothing too ambitious. We're not saving the world. Just fold laundry or reply to that one email I've been spiritually avoiding. Step 2. Set a 10-minute timer. That's it. 10, not 30. Not until it's done. Just a friendly little sprint. Step 3, do the thing, then stop. Or keep going if you want, but stopping is totally allowed. Actually, it's encouraged. Why it works, even if you're chronically unmotivated. Because starting is scarier than doing. Once you're in motion, your brain often thinks, well, we've already started. Might as well keep going for a bit. Like tricking a toddler into walking by saying, we're just going to the mailbox. And suddenly you're 2 blocks away and they're like, how did we get here? 10 minutes is so short your brain doesn't panic. It feels like a cheat code. No overwhelm, no dread. Just a quick dip into productivity without the commitment. Real-life examples. I'll clean the kitchen just for 10 minutes. 15 minutes later, you're Marie Kondoing your spice rack. I'll write for 10 minutes. Half an hour later, you're mid-existential crisis about why your main character is emotionally unavailable. I'll go outside for 10 minutes. You accidentally enjoy the sun. Weird, but good. Bonus tip. Give your timer a funny name. Productivity doesn't have to sound scary. I call mine the bare minimum. It feels honest. It sets expectations low. But I've also tried others, like mediocre hustle mode. Operation. Do one thing. 10 minutes of pretending to be functional. Name it something that makes you laugh, so you actually want to use it. Because let's be real. If your self-growth tools make you feel judged, you're not going to use them. The bottom line. You don't need a planner the size of a phone book. You don't need a daily schedule that looks like a military operation. You just need 10 minutes, a bit of trickery, and a timer with personality. That's how the lazy, yet secretly clever, get things done. Growth mindset, but chill. All right, let's get a little philosophical, but chill, I promise. No whiteboard, no TED Talk voice, just real talk. So here's the deal. Having a growth mindset doesn't mean you have to wake up every day ready to conquer the universe while chugging kale smoothies and reciting affirmations in the mirror. It just means you believe one simple thing. You can get better. That's it. Not, you're already great. Not, you'll be perfect tomorrow. Just, you're not stuck. You are not a fixed object in space. You are a mildly confused but evolving human. Let's bring it down to earth. Didn't stick to your habit today? Not yet. Still procrastinating even though you watched 3 videos about how not to procrastinate? Not yet. Forgot what you were doing halfway through this video? Relatable. Also, not yet. The power of not yet is huge. It turns failure into a pit stop, not a dead end. It lets you screw up and still stay in the game. You're not bad at it. You're just not good yet. And the best part? A chill growth mindset doesn't panic. It doesn't scream, you're falling behind. It whispers, you're still going. It's not about speed. It's about direction. It's okay if you're moving at the pace of a distracted goldfish, as long as you're moving. Because every step, no matter how small or awkward or fueled entirely by iced coffee and denial, is still a step. A growth mindset isn't about always trying harder. Sometimes it's about trying gentler. Being kind to yourself while you get better at being yourself. So the next time you mess up, and you will, don't say, I suck. Say, not yet. Then breathe and keep going. Emotional intelligence for people who cry during commercials. Let's talk about feelings. Yes, I know, that sounds like a trap, but stay with me. Emotional intelligence gets thrown around like it's some mystical superpower only CEOs and therapists have. In reality, it just means you understand your emotions and you don't let them hijack your life. That's it. You don't need to be the Dalai Lama. You just need to be a little more emotionally literate than a hangry raccoon. Here's how emotional intelligence works. Lazy addition. Step 1. Notice what you're feeling. Not overanalyze. Not journal for 3 hours. Just notice. Like, oh, wow, I'm snapping at people for no reason. Am I mad at them or just sleep-deprived and dehydrated again? Spoiler, it's usually the second one. Step 2, name it. There's real science behind this. When you label an emotion, your brain actually calms down. It's called affect labeling. But we're not here for science class, so let's move on. So instead of yelling, "I'm fine," try saying, "This is frustration. This is overwhelm. This is me after 3 back-to-back meetings and 0 snacks." Boom. Now you're emotionally intelligent. Congratulations. Step 3. Don't act on it immediately. Feelings are like toddlers. They're loud, dramatic, and often irrational. You wouldn't let a toddler drive your car, right? So maybe don't let your 3-second burst of rage send that work email either. Take a breath, go for a walk, scream into a pillow shaped like your inbox. Then act. And remember, having emotions doesn't make you weak. Recognizing them makes you wise. Responding to them intentionally makes you a wizard. Because let's be real, most of us were never taught this stuff. We learned emotional coping skills from sitcom characters and random childhood trauma. So if you're figuring this out now, in your 30s or 40s, you're not late. You're just on time for your own growth. And hey, if you tear up during a commercial where a dog reunites with its owner, that's not weakness. That's premium empathy, baby. Use it, channel it, grow with it. That's emotional intelligence, but make it relatable. The Stoic shortcut. Okay, let's bring in some ancient wisdom. Stoic philosophy, but make it modern. Like, wears sweatpants and drinks oat milk modern. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, were basically the OG life coaches. But instead of yelling at you in a YouTube ad, they calmly reminded you, you don't control everything, but you do control how you respond. And look, we love that for them. But also, life now comes with Wi-Fi outages, passive-aggressive work emails, and group chats that won't die. So here's the lazy Stoic shortcut. When something annoying happens, traffic, rude email, burnt toast, existential dread, pause and ask yourself, is this in my control? If no, drop it. Mentally yeet it into the void. Do not collect stress. Do not overthink. Just let it float away like a balloon of nonsense. If yes, do the tiniest next step. Not the big heroic move. Just one small thing your future self will thank you for. Because Stoicism isn't about being emotionally numb. It's about choosing your reaction, not being dragged around by it like a dog chasing a squirrel. Let's say someone cuts you off in traffic, not in your control. Deep breath. Play your favorite song. Move on. Your project is due and you haven't started? In your control. Set a 10-minute timer. Open a document. Type literally anything. Your brain at 2 a.m. What if everything you've ever done is meaningless? Not now, brain. We're doing Stoicism. Go sit in the corner. The goal isn't to be chill all the time. Even Marcus Aurelius probably grumbled through morning meetings. He just didn't stay mad about them. That's what Stoicism teaches you. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to pause, ask the question, and either let it go or take one small, sane action. do this enough, and suddenly life feels lighter. Not because the chaos disappears, but because you're not carrying all of it on your back anymore. Marcus would be proud, and he'd probably ghost the team Slack channel too, let's be honest. Minimalist living, without becoming a monk. Minimalism isn't just white walls and no furniture, it's removing stuff, physical, mental, emotional, that clutters your energy. Okay, so when people hear minimalism, they usually picture some dude living in a white box with one spoon, one chair, and no joy. But real minimalism? It's not about having nothing. It's about having less of what doesn't matter, so you can enjoy more of what actually does. In short, minimalism equals clutter detox. Not just your stuff, but your brain, your time, your energy. Here's the lazy person's guide to minimalist living. Start tiny, like microscopic. Clean one junk drawer. You know the one. Filled with expired batteries, birthday candles, and 7 mystery keys. Archive one email folder. If it hasn't been opened since the Obama administration, it can probably go. Let go of one unhelpful thought, like, I have to be productive 24/7, or if I throw away this charger, I'll need it tomorrow. Spoiler, you won't. Minimalism doesn't require you to live in a house that echoes. It just asks you to look around and ask, is this helping the person I'm becoming? If yes, great. Keep it. Honor it. If no, thank it, bless it, and gently yeet it out of your life. Even if it's that hoodie from 2007. Yes, it has sentimental value. Yes, you met your ex in it. No, it doesn't need to follow you into 2025. Growth is lighter when you pack less. Also, minimalism isn't about perfection. You're not going to wake up one day in a serene beige home with Zen music playing unless you're secretly an Instagram influencer. But what you can have is a little more breathing room on your desk, in your mind, in your week. Because the more space you create, the more space you get to become. So here's the truth. Self-growth doesn't have to look like 5 a.m. wake-ups, green smoothies, or writing a novel during your lunch break. Sometimes it's just doing one thing when you feel like doing 0. Choosing not to reply to that passive-aggressive email. Saying not yet instead of I suck. Tossing out that crusty old belief that you have to hustle to be enough. Growth isn't a glow-up montage. It's more like a weird little road trip. You take wrong exits. You eat snacks. You question everything. But if you keep moving, even slowly, even lazily, you still get somewhere. And hey, maybe that somewhere isn't a productivity utopia. Maybe it's just a life that feels a little more peaceful, a little more yours. So if you watched this and thought, wow, this feels suspiciously doable, good. That's the point. Self-improvement doesn't need to be impressive. It just needs to be possible. One drawer, one deep breath, one squishy little habit at a time. Now go forth and grow slightly, but consistently. Your future self is already slow clapping for you.